Hello again, YouTubers and G1 Transformer fans. This is Sparkster1701 here again, and I'm presenting this week the Decepticon City Commander, Galvatron. People often ask, why is he listed as City Commander, when, as we clearly saw in Transformers the movie, he was reformatted from Megatron. Well, in the likelihood, this was done to avoid spoiling the plot of the movie, as these toys, like many of them for today's blockbuster films, the toy was released prior to the release of the film, so this kept the spoiler alert down. As a city commander, that would pretty much mean that he is in charge of a unit stationed at one of the Decepticon city bases, which more or less means that he was in charge of operations at Trypticon, and he shares the same function rank as the Autobot Ultra Magnus. Another comment that has been made by fans over Galvatron is why he does not appear in the purple color that we're most famously known for seeing him in. Well, the toy was designed early in the design stages for the movie, and as such later, one or the either Hasbro or Sunbow changed the colors, and the other one, for some reason, did not. It's likely he was changed for the movie appearance to make him look less like Megatron. However, in the early 2000s, 2001 or 2003, Takara did release, for the Headmasters animated series, a purple version of Galvatron that does include the Matrix of Leadership, and it does have a chain to drape around his neck. Something to note in particular about Galvatron is that he's one of the earliest of the Transformers to be battery-powered. He has a 9-volt right here in his chest cavity that allows him to light up and make some gun noises. There's a switch. Move the grip right in here. A black switch that has 3 positions that plays 3 different blaster sounds. When he's in robot mode, it also makes his eyes light up. To activate it, you press the button right here on his waist piece. Maybe. There it goes. There's one. There's the second noise. And lastly, the third. Galvatron in some ways is also a triple changer, so let's go ahead and start transforming Galvatron. First by removing all of his accessories. And then we'll take him, rotate his arms in, slide up the chest plate to cover his head, and twist his body around. Fold in his feet and bring the legs together. Fold back the trigger, this trigger stand all the way. Bring down the sight. Rotate the arms up like this. Fold them flat and rotate the treads to lock them in place on both sides. Get back in there. And now we add in the laser barrel. And this is Galvatron's most common form, a field artillery laser cannon. Is probably the best description for this. And as such as well, you can also activate his firing mechanism. And as you can see, it also makes the barrel light up a bit. Now, to turn him into his second mode, rotate the treads back and rotate them. Bring down this piece here, get the legs shrunk in, rotate him around, So he's like this. It's kind of loose here, folks, so bear with me on it. And then here you have his second mode. It's pretty loose here, folks, so please bear with me. Is a laser pistol. Mode that was not seen a lot, but in some sources it claims that Galvatron only will form this mode and be held by those that he deems worthy. There's also a trigger down here that allows for the noise to also be played, but on this sample it does not appear to be working. Let's take a look at the articulation on Galvatron, and he had quite a fair bit on him for a 1986 toy. The arms can rotate at the shoulder all around as he throws his gun aside. He also has ratcheting action here at what would presumably be his elbow or forearm. He does have the ability to bend at the knees, and he has joint action down here at the ankle. Albeit that's more for his transformation than anything, but still rather impressive for a 1986 release Transformer. Let's take a look now at Galvatron's 3 loose accessory pieces. We're going to start with the laser barrel itself. This, of course, is the orange barrel that attaches to the end of the gun, and it forms Galvatron's energy cannon. This piece is very commonly missing on loose samples. It's so difficult to find that many vendors will not buy a loose Galvatron if it does not have this piece. So, Galvatron loose is pretty easy to find. One with this orange barrel, that's a bigger challenge. Also, just as equally important is this, what's called the laser connector. This is the piece that connects onto his arm that holds the cannon in his robot mode. Other than that, it really serves no purpose. And lastly, we have what's often a forgotten piece, is his laser rifle. Since Galvatron is always shown only using the arm cannon, this piece is quite commonly unheard of amongst many of the fans, and thus is not seen on many loose samples. Now let's reach back here and take a look at Galvatron's instructions. And as you can see, these are done in a different style than the first wave robots that you saw with Megatron's video. This would be the standard for quite a number of years in the line, starting with the previous year of 1985, where they would do it as a black and white drawing, and the only other color would be either purple, like you see here for a Decepticon, or red for an Autobot. And fold these out. Get back over here a little bit, and there's parts list and start for the transforming. And this right here shows how to insert the battery. Feel free to pause the video if you wish to read over these. One thing I should alert all of you to is when you buy a used Galvatron, please do check the battery connection piece. The contacts in there, I've seen on at least one sample, can be damaged and thus render the toy unable to use a battery. Here's backside. So now get into making him the robot. And right here we got the sticker page. Galvatron's got a fair amount of stickers on him, and thus he's pretty notorious for sticker wear and a little bit of chrome wear around the front. Right, here's the page. This last page here shows how to use the rub sign, talk about the robot points, and using how to use the tech spec decoder on the tech spec. Surprising that for a number of years they always used Blue Streak's tech spec. Speaking of the tech spec, let's take a quick look here at Galvatron's tech spec. Then this was from the back of the box. There's nothing back here except for some bits of black paper. Probably this was hanging on somebody's special display or whatnot years ago. It's got a picture here that would be from the box art. Has his faction as Decepticon, and his name is Galvatron. Gives his function as City Commander. His motto is, "My power is everything. Defeat is absurd." Galvatron is a cold-hearted robotic villain, determined to lead the Decepticons. Possesses enough strength to pulverize an Autobot into scrap metal. Unconquerable, arrogant, and compassionless. Plots against his allies, thus weakening his position. In robot mode, he carries a laser that emits chemically produced direct current electricity. Interesting that it reads on that he almost sounds like an arrogant and despicable character, similar in lines to Starscream. But as it also says that he plots against his allies, not only does it make him like Starscream, but it also builds him up like Shockwave. This paints Galvatron up also as a separate character, and in a lot of the Asian media, such as their various comics that were being done at the same time as the Transformers cartoon was airing, paints Galvatron as a totally different character, and in those series, he was treated as a separate character serving under Megatron. Getting back to his tech spec now, we can look at the vital stats on the side here, especially now we got the decoder on there. Gives his strength as 10, his intelligence at 9, his speed at 9, his endurance at 10, his rank of 9, courage 9, firepower 9, and skill of 10. That really shows that Galvatron is a very powerful character. Let's also not forget that while in the TV series, Galvatron would be voiced by Megatron's voice actor Frank Welker, but in the feature film that he first appeared in, Galvatron was voiced by Leonard Nimoy, most famous for being Mr. Spock on Star Trek. As many of you could probably guess, the 1701 in my name comes from the registry number on the Enterprise. I'm also a diehard Trekkie. Live long and prosper. We're approaching the golden age for Star Trek. Leonard Nimoy is also related to director Michael Bay, who's directed the currently 4 live-action Transformer movies. That's how he wound up getting the role in Dark of the Moon as Sentinel Prime. And this concludes my review of the Generation 1 Decepticon City Commander Galvatron. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you're looking to get yourself a Galvatron figure, I hope you found this video informative. If you liked it, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, and please don't forget to hit the subscribe button down over here. That's what'll help keep this channel going. I'll be back next week with another Generation 1 Transformers toy, and please feel free in the comments below to post any suggested figures that you would like to see. This is Sparkster1701 saying I'll catch you later.